Would you look at that? It's pink, pretty, slightly fabulous, and it packs one hell of a punch. Today, we take a look at the R.A.W. light machine gun. Alright, what's up? Here, of course, welcome back to the channel. Now, like I said before, today we're going to take a look at the R.A.W. light machine gun. Easily my favorite weapon in this game at the moment. This one is hella deadly. Easily one of the most overlooked weapons in the game, just because it is a light machine gun. Most people like to stay away from these, but they're honestly really good this time around. And this setup is actually a stealth setup. Personally, I kind of struggle to do well in Infinite Warfare at the moment. Saying that, I've been doing quite well recently, but basically, I personally feel like stealth setups are the way to go, just because in that case, you can simply flank around, learn the maps whilst you're at it, and of course, shoot a ton of people in the back without them even noticing you. So with that being said, in this video I'm going to break down my R.A.W. setup, but first we're going to take a look at the attachments, then the perks, and then finally the square streak setup. So with that being said, for starters we have the ELO sight, which is easily my favorite sight in any CoD ever. I usually either use a simple red dot sight or an ELO sight. I think it takes weapon rank 14 or something like that to unlock the ELO, so it is going to take you a little bit, but I personally think it's definitely worth it. Anyway, so in this case, I would simply recommend you to go with your favorite optic, just to make it a heck of a lot more easy for you to stay on target at medium to long range. The iron sights actually aren't too bad in terms of winning close range engagements, but for those longer ranges, I would definitely recommend an optic. If not, switch this one for anything else if you prefer. Next up, we have Quick Draw, which is definitely a must-have whenever you use a light machine gun in literally any Call of Duty. Now, I haven't really looked into it just yet, but I think that on average, the Quick Draw grab usually cuts down the time that it takes you to zoom in by like 33%-ish. Something like that, so obviously this is going to make it a heck of a lot more easy for you to win close to medium range gunfights. Next up we have the stock. Now I don't know about you, but I personally think that the stock is one of the best attachments ever put into any Call of Duty. For starters, it makes you harder to hit at close range just because hitting a target that is moving from the left to the right is of course harder to hit than a target that isn't moving whatsoever. And then at long range, I personally find it a lot more easy to stay on target by strafing from the left to the right than it is for me to stay on target by actually aiming precisely. Making like little adjustments is something that I'm not too great at, and the stock will also help you out with that. And then finally, of course, we have the suppressor, simply to keep you off the minimap whenever you fire your weapon. Anyway, so next up for our first perk, we have Recon, which is definitely my go-to perk in this game at the moment. Simply because everyone and their mother uses UAVs, and basically, every single time that one of your opponents calls in a UAV, you get a single radar sweep. Plus, every single time that UAV vanishes, you once again get a little sweep. So this one is obviously really useful for figuring out where your opponents are at. And then on top of that, it also makes sure that your minimap shows a larger area, which is never a bad thing. Anyway, so next up we have the perk Ghost, which of course goes hand in hand with the suppressor. It basically makes sure that you're immune to UAVs and radar ping, so basically just keeps you off the minimap. And then finally, for our last perk, we have Hardline, which has honestly been one of my go-to perks as well, just because it makes it so easy to get UAVs, counter UAVs, Wardens, Thors, and so on and so forth. Honestly, Hardline is back in full swing. It's way better than it was in the previous few titles. Anyway, so with that being said, the description of Hardline says, gain bonus point for each kill up to 8 kills, and 2 assists will give you the same bonus. So 2 assists count as a kill, and then basically for every kill up to 8 kills, you get 125 points instead of 100 points, or at least that's how it is in Team Deathmatch. I can safely say that I've not touched Domination, or Gun Game, or Defend, or Kill Confirmed, or anything like that. Don't like those game modes, so I'm not too sure what it's like in those, but in Team Deathmatch, it's definitely worth it. And then finally, in terms of the score streaks, in this case, if I'm not mistaken, I was using the UAV, the counter UAV, and then finally the Warden. Obviously, the UAV is a go-to score streak of mine. I tend to use this one, I want to say about 99% of the time. It basically shows you where opponents are at, so it's never a bad thing. Next up, we have the counter UAV. Now, there are 2 reasons why I use this one. For starters, I absolutely hate it when my opponents call in a counter UAV, just because in that case, you of course lose your minimap. And I'm fairly confident that I can also annoy my opponents by calling in the exact same streak. So that's of course reason number 1. And then on top of that, just like with the UAV, you get counter UAV assists every single time that one of your teammates gets a kill, which is going to make it a heck of a lot more easy for you to get that final score streak, and that's of course the Warden, which I want to say is kind of a mixture between an escort drone and a stealth shot. We can basically put it into sentry mode as well. Now personally, I always have it follow me around just because it kind of saves my ass plenty of time, so I like it for that. So next time you get the chance, definitely be sure to use it. Anyway, with that being said, if you've got a pretty solid setup for the R.A.W, as per usual, make sure to share it in the comments down below for others to try out. Also, if you enjoyed this one, some support, a like rating would be very much appreciated. If not, that's cool. If you want to, you can also follow me on Twitter or Facebook, or Instagram. You can find all those things in the description, and nowadays I'm also on Snapchat. If you want to add me over there, it's By2 on Snapchat, just on my YouTube channel. And then finally, in fact, as always, thank you all so much for watching, thank you for the continued support, and I will catch you in the next one. Take it easy!